Yesterday, I put out a podcast about the most impressive thing I've seen in search engine optimization in my life. It's a website that went from not existing literally a year ago. It was created at the end of December 2022, and now it ranks for over 200,000 keywords. The way that it does this is it's a Chrome extension that summarizes YouTube videos every time a user creates a summary. The summary is generated with GPT, entirely generated, and then it turns into a page on this app's website. GPT creates the page title, the meta description, the H1. It categorizes the summary. It creates hub page category pages and then uses the categories to put in recommendations into each summary for more summaries, kind of like you would see related articles at the bottom of an article. And it does it with these summaries, and it makes it look like an article. And the YouTube video, the original YouTube video, is embedded on the page with the OG image set as the thumbnail of the YouTube video. And then it makes all of these pages accessible in the footer under YouTube summaries. And you click YouTube summaries, and then it's literally 20 pages of 20 categories. So 400 categories total. And each category is stacked with dozens and dozens and dozens of pages of just summaries. Literally every time a user, and they have many users, summarizes a YouTube video, it turns into a page that is categorized and archived by GPT on its site. And they did a press push over the summer to increase their SEO domain authority so they could rank for more keywords. And that press push made them in September start ranking, and month over month, it's just been crazy. They have been skyrocketing like crazy. And their SEO writing passes Zero GPT's AI writing detector test. Zero GPT is one of the top AI writing detectors. And this app, if I didn't mention it already, is Eightify.app, Eightify.app, EIGHTIFY.app. The writing passes the AI writing detectors. Not all of them, but the top ones. And I think that's part of the reason why this company has gotten away with it for so long. It's new, and Google can't tell that this is AI writing, is my guess. And so I made a 20-minute podcast about this yesterday, and I said what I think will happen with them. And then I shared this podcast with some top people in search engine optimization, and other people agreed with my prediction, which is that they will be penalized by Google. This behavior will not be allowed to continue because for several reasons. The AI summaries are about 40% inaccurate. They're just generated with AI. They're not human checked. There's too many of them to be human checked. It's a team of 3 people, literally 3 people, all outside the United States. They're not human checked. These AI summaries give people a reason to not watch the YouTube videos when they can spend 45 seconds reading the summary or less, and they don't have to watch the several minute long YouTube video. People will do that. And so YouTube is going to get less traffic, less ad revenue. But the number one reason that I predicted on yesterday's podcast that this behavior will not be allowed to continue, because it's not actually really against any TOS, what they're doing. It's not against any terms of service. The real reason why I thought that they would get a penalization is because all of their pages are ranking so highly in Google that generative AI, such as Google's own Bard or GPT, which is what this app uses, will train off of it. So it'll be like the snake eating its own tail. The generated information is 40% inaccurate. It's created with AI, and then LLMs are training off of this. And so there's a lot of information being generated. It's being ranked highly. It's being prioritized. And as a result, this 40% inaccurate data will be used to train large language models. And so this is certainly not in Google's interest, who is spending intense amounts of resources on Bard and other AI solutions. That was the number one reason why I thought this wouldn't continue. The taking ad revenue away from YouTube, I mean, it matters, but it's not substantial. I don't think it's a substantial enough reason. The 40% inaccurate, that's pretty substantial. However, the bounce rate is very low, and that 40% inaccuracy score, that's just given by me. That's subjective. For certain summaries, it could be higher, it could be lower, but their bounce rate is very low because people arrive to the page, the AI does a good job giving the users what they want in terms of the summary, even if it's not all accurate. And so the bounce rate is low. And because of these recommended articles on the bottom, recommended summaries on the bottom, visitors may even click through on the site, which are very positive ranking signals. The user doesn't bounce, they don't return to the search engine results page, and they click through. Very positive ranking signals. So the number one thing is that it's just generating all of this bad data for large language models to train off of. And it hit me. I was sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. I was tossing and turning because I worked too late last night. And for me, when I work too late, I have trouble sleeping. So I was just literally rolling around in bed thinking about SEO. Like my brain would not shut off, and it hit me what Eightify should be doing. And so when I had discovered Eightify yesterday, and when I had made the podcast yesterday, and I made a TikTok about them too, a video about them too, I was under the impression that they kind of got lucky. They don't even have, I can't even find their sitemap. If you don't know, a sitemap is literally just a map of URLs for a website, and it's something that you give to search engines. Like Google has its own tool called Google Search Console, which allows you to submit everything on your website to Google's index. And a sitemap is an easy way to do this, because a sitemap is literally just a list of URLs on your site. It gets auto-updated every time a new page is created, or it gets updated when a page is updated. Very useful. And Eightify doesn't even have a sitemap. And so my guess when I made yesterday's episode was that they don't really know what they're doing with SEO, and they got lucky. And I did some more research this morning, because it's actually under 7 a.m. here in Poland. And I found that my guess yesterday was accurate. They don't really know what they're doing, and they did get lucky. I looked at their robots.txt. Robots.txt is directives that you give to different software which may crawl your website. And so I looked at their robots.txt. It's eightify.app/robots.txt. That's just what any website is. New York Times is nytimes.com/robots.txt. Is a standard used in making websites and doing SEO. And Eightify blocks a lot of the top search engine optimization tools. They didn't block the tools that I use. I don't use the most widely used tools, which actually I think is an advantage, because people don't block me. It's great. But what they should be doing, and this is what they're not doing, and I think this is why I'm even making a part 2 of this, and why I'm doing it the day after, because it hit me as I was rolling around in bed thinking about SEO, what they could actually do to maybe not get penalized, and what I would do if I were them. So if you are listening, Eightify, this is what you should do. If you want to create huge swaths of AI-generated pages on your site and do that for SEO, and you believe that your pages are satisfying the search intent of the visitors who are coming to your site, and these pages are created with AI, and they're not human checked, if they're not human checked especially, this is what you should do, and this is what Eightify should do. This is actually what the New York Times does, but not for this reason. You'll understand in a second. And it's what Eightify does not do, and what they should be doing. In their robots.txt, they block top agents from several different platforms. But what they don't block is they don't block ChatGPT, and they don't block Google Bard. And there are literal directives to say, ChatGPT, don't train off of this. Google Bard, don't train off of this. I'll tell you what it is. It's just, you can search it, but if you search Google-extended, that is how you block Bard from training off of your website. And then you would just say disallow. So this is what they should do. They should say for the user agents, so the user agents would be Bard and ChatGPT. They have different names, easy to find, just Google-extended and GPT bot. So those are the 2 user agents for ChatGPT and Bard. And then you would say disallow, and then it would be the subfolder that all of these AI summaries are in, which is /summary. That's literally it. So simple. All they need to do is in their robots.txt, tell ChatGPT and Bard to not look at their AI summaries. And if they do that, I think they will mitigate a huge amount of risk for being deranked. It's literally 4 lines of code to add. a total of 4 words. And I think it would just remove a ton of risk, and that's what they should be doing. There's other AI directives that people are trying to test, but they're not official yet. Another one is no AI, which is in the Meta robots. And they could actually just go and put this into all of their AI summary pages. That's also very easy to add. And that would also help to mitigate risk. But no AI is not accepted, unlike blocking Bard in the robots.txt or blocking ChatGPT in the robots.txt. And doing this fixes the problem of the snake eating its own tail. And for anybody who wants to use AI to rank on Google and who believes AI will be satisfying search intent, this is how you should do it. And that's what I would do if I was them. I wasn't fully satisfied with my answer that I gave on yesterday's podcast, but now I am. That is what they should do. And I think there's a good chance they might do this because they might hear this. And I think that would mitigate a huge amount of risk for them and anyone else who wants to create, like I said, just large amounts of AI generated content that is good for visitors. Because if it's not good for visitors, then you'll be penalized. That's good for visitors. That's unique. That's helpful. Put this into your robots.txt so that the AI that you're using to generate all of this text is not training off of itself. Very simple solution. That's what I would do. All right. It is 6:50 in the morning in Wrocław, Poland. Fixing my sleep schedule here. Waking up at 6 a.m. every morning, just like I was back in New York City when I spent the summer and the fall staying in my hometown, NYC. It's funny to call it a hometown because it's certainly not a town, one of the biggest cities in the world. But I was staying there. And I was waking up at 6 a.m. every morning. I'll tell you this, it's a lot easier to wake up at 6 a.m. when the sun is already up. Because during the summer and even the fall, when you wake at 6, the sun is up. And in the winter, it's not. I think it's easier to wake up at 6 a.m. when the sun has already risen. But I kind of like this. I kind of like getting up before the sun and starting my day with the sun. And there's this like feeling of you're on top of everything when you are up before the sun. And I enjoy that feeling so much. And I enjoy watching the sunrise. And I'm going to get to do that on this lovely morning. What a great day. Today's going to be a great day. You don't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I post that every morning with a different image from somewhere that I am in the world. Do a lot of traveling. I post those. It's fun for me. And yeah, today's going to be a great day. Post that in an hour or two, but the great day has already started. This is episode 167 of my daily growth hacking podcast, The Edward Show. If you don't know my background, I've done SEO for Microsoft, Time Inc., Procter & Gamble, so many enterprises and SMBs. I would consider myself one of the top SEOs in the world, and that's why I feel credible to give this recommendation on what a company putting up huge amounts of AI content should do. And tomorrow I look forward to making another growth hacking podcast 7 days a week. 7 days a week, baby. I have so much fun with these. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.